They are moved into the quarterfinals, and today we will witness one of these teams gaining the rare opportunity of moving towards the grand finale, while the other will end its journey within the debater. Today we will witness a heated and exciting debate, and the topic that will be battled here today, whether or not the provincial council system is an effective method of devolution of power from the centre in Sri Lanka. And introducing to you your proposition for today, we have with us St. Sylvester's College, Kandy. And introducing to you your opposition for today, we have with us Kingsford College, Kandy. To you the eminent panel of individuals who will be giving the verdict of today's debate. We have with us Mr. Asanka Abegunasekara. We also have with us Mr. Indi Sambrajiva. We also have with us Ms. Anuradha Hera. And our observer for today will be Ms. Kanchana De Silva.
Hi, I'm Mohammed Naflan from St. Sylvester's College. I'll be beginning the debate for Sylvester's and hope you all enjoy a great debate. Effectiveness of any effective system depends on the spirit of its implementation. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We Sylvestrians are here to defend the argument that the provincial council system is an effective method of devolution of power from the centre of Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka, having a unitary state of governance, unlike the federal system, the globally proven effective system of devolution for a unitary state is the provincial council system.
Hi, I'm Aziz, representing the Kingsford debate team as the first speaker. Hope to give you guys the opening statements. Hope to give you guys a wonderful day. Ladies and gentlemen, topic for today, the provincial council system is not an effective method of devolution of power from the centre in Sri Lanka, where the key phrase is devolution of power, where in turn we have defined it in a Sri Lankan context. So, according to the official website of the government of Sri Lanka, the devolution of power means transferring political and administrative decision-making authority from the central government to elected bodies at lower levels. So the debate today is whether this transfer of the political and administrative decision-making authority from basic devolution of power is effective or not. So any system or any method made to devolve power should have the ability to make the political and the administrative decision-making decisions.
Hello, I'm Dilshan Madhushankar Silva from St. Sylvester's College. I'll be taking on the face-off round, and today I'm replacing one of my best friends, so I hope he's not angry with me and everything is cool. Let me move on with our college argument. Effectiveness in devolution of power. I would be elaborating on that part. Well, what do we understand by devolution? The statutory granting of powers from the central government of a certain state to government at a subnational level. Well, of course, on par with the 13th amendment of the provincial council system, the provincial council system has been granted with certain powers.
Sir, if the devolution of power is effective, the provincial council should be able to make their own decision, right? Yes or no?
Yes.
So, at present, are they making the decision or taking the decision of the government?
Of course. Well, the Constitution, of course, the provincial council is not an isolated institute of Sri Lanka. Of course, the government has an eye on provincial council. Well, on the provincial council also has powers to enact independently without contradicting to the central government, without contradicting to the powers of the central government, and on par with the Constitution, the central government, the provincial council system can act accordingly.
So, sir, do you agree that there are limitations in the devolvement of power then?
Definitely, the devolvement of power has always has limitations.
Sir, if there are limitations, then how can it be effective? How can it be successful?
Yes, I'll come to that. The effectiveness does not depend on how much power does the provincial council system possess. It depends on how much work the provincial council system can do for the betterment of a country.
Hi, I'm Asif Maujud. I'll be facing off my opponents, and keep your fingers crossed for an exciting debate. Ladies and gentlemen, throughout this debate, we will be bringing out three key factors to oppose the statement of the proposition. And my first speaker clearly mentioned you about the financial dependency of the provincial council. And let me assist you with the second factor, political manipulation. Yes, sir.
Don't you find that there are independent avenues for the provincial council to generate their own income?
Sir, I did not even start my speech, sir. and you should ask regarding my speech, ask questions regarding my speech. And yes, for example, ladies and gentlemen, yes,
As you have highlighted the factor of the financial inability of the Provincial Council, doesn't that include a component in your speech?
yes. Okay, sir, repeat the question, sir.
Don't you believe that the provincial councils have avenues to generate their own income?
The main avenue of generating their income is the funds from the government, and even income tax they have to pay to the government and take a percentage from the government, sir. Yes, sir.
Do you feel that all the provinces of Sri Lanka have equal amount of resources?
Of course, no, sir. Yes.
Do you feel that all these resources could be converted into financial resources?
Obviously, I mean, being a commerce student myself, of course we can't do that.
Why can't we do that?
Why? Because, I mean, we can give a value for those resources in a money-based system, but we can't give money for those resources.
Don't you believe that monetary value of resources are financial value of resources?
Sir, what is the point of your question, sir?
Yes. These unequal resources should be distributed equally among the provinces. So a center should take the money from all these provinces and distribute among the provinces sufficiently. Don't you believe that it is correct?
Sir, exactly, sir.
Hi, I'm Zimri Mohammed from St. Sylvester's College. I'll be questioned at the rapid fire, inviting you for a debate with answers.
In theory, everything is perfect. But what's the point of it being, but if it's impractical, what's the point of it being effective in theory, in paper?
If the paperwork is put into implementation, and if there are challenges, and if there is room for the challenges to be altered, improved and developed, even the paper is perfect. The mispractices of the paperwork cannot be criticized as wrongs of the theory.
My point exactly, ladies and gentlemen, that paperwork has not been put into practice.
What is wrong? The people, those who put it into practice, or the papers that are available?
It shows that I'm not supposed to answer your questions. I'm supposed to ask questions.
My questions are answers for you.
It doesn't answer.
It is the fault of the people, those who practice what is available in the paper. When the paper is perfect, and even if there are necessity for improvement, the present provincial council system has way and room for improvement.
So you are saying all throughout these 30 years, it's the same personnel who've been operating the system. There has been no difference. You are blaming it on the people, not the system, which is theoretical. Is it what you are saying, sir?
No. I would like to enlighten you. For the past 30 years, if you analyze, there were people, those who did progressive development. There were people, those who didn't do anything. So that's the difference of the people. But all the people had the same system. My dear brother.
Hi, I'm Sajith Vijayasekar, representing Kingswood College, and I'll be taking on the rapid fire round at this debate. Ready to move on to the semi-finals with my team.
My dear brother, do you agree that the main arms of power of central government are devolved?
No, sir, it is not devolved in a proper manner.
When three arms of power, judiciary, executive and legislature, are devolved in a sufficient manner, how could you justify your stand?
Sir, it's devolved in a sufficient manner. Why isn't it practical? Why isn't it in use?
What is the solution, alternative that you are giving from the system, the defects that you are mentioning?
Sir, I'm not here to propose alternatives. I'm here to oppose the topic, and I'm doing my duty, sir.
No, it's not that. We can also present this debate in a dramatical way. But I am asking, what is the ultimate solution from the defects you are telling? Either to increase the power of the provincial council, or either to not to give the power of central government, central provincials.
Sir, as I mentioned to you before, I'm not at a position or at liberty to mention alternatives for this matter. What I'm trying to say is that there hasn't been a proper devolution of power, sir. That's why we are having this inefficiency within the provincial councils at the moment.
Could you clarify the areas where you find the defects in this system to be ineffective?
What do you mean, sir?
That means we have found this system is an ineffective system. So could you clarify the areas where you found these things?
Yes, sir. As I mentioned to you in my phase of rounds and so on, there are some criteria which the government has handed over the provincial councils to take care of. They have given the liberty. But the thing is, ladies and gentlemen, at the moment, the provincial council list, they are taking some decisions according to the provincial council list, but still the central government interferes in the decisions they make. So where's the democracy here, sir? Where's the efficiency here, sir?
Hello, I'm Umer Iqbal, and I'll be doing the sum up for the Kingswood College debate. Ladies and gentlemen, if we are debating whether the roads of Sri Lanka are effective, we should not take the concept or the proposal of roads into consideration. What we should consider is the present practical roads we have. In the same way, if we are debating about the effectiveness of the provincial councils, we should consider the effectiveness of the provincial council we see, not the provincial, not the paperwork or the constitution. Now, coming back to the utopian theoretical argument of the proposition, ladies and gentlemen, in theory, even Hitler's Nazism theory might be perfect, but when it was put into practice, the problems flowed in. Same thing here, ladies and gentlemen. If the theory is effective, it would have come into practice after all these years since its inception in 1987.
Hi, I'm Rija Shafi from St. Sylvester's College, Kandy. I will be making the closing statement on behalf of Sylvesters, hoping for a good debate. The opposition are not ready to move out of their perception, but we are not ready to move out of the topic. Whenever there is an effectiveness, two things should be considered, my dear brothers and the audience: system and the person or the body who is in practicing in that system. If the fault is with the practice of the system, it is not to be fault with the system. System is 100% effective. Best example that you all brought out is that Environmental Act. The Environmental Act was brought in by the provincial councils, but was not in practice. Because of the inefficiency of the persons who are working, it was not brought into practice. But if the system says you cannot implement this in this system, means that is the ineffectiveness of the system.
Ananda College